Welcome to Studio 58A live here at the Jamaica Information Service, our discussion program coming to you live online. I'm your host, Vaughn Davis. Thank you to everyone tuning in wherever you are around the world. Thank you so much for your eyes. We're so happy to have you. And like how we have your attention, do us a favor, man. Share this video with a friend or two or 30,000 so we can have a lively discussion. And don't remember to send in your questions and comments so we can have a really full-fledged discussion. All right? Now let's get into it. Now, people, if you're up on current affairs, you would have seen last month where today's guest made a trip to the world's highest peak, Mount Everest. And there he left a mark letting the world know that little Jamaica is represented among the countries whose nationals have taken on and conquered this extremely difficult journey. It definitely caught my attention, and it made me take a closer look at our guest. And when I did, I found out that he doesn't just have a real love and passion for the country. He has put his money where his mouth is and has helped facilitate major development initiatives for the country in the field of technology. We welcome into studio today Mr. Dushyant Savadia, CEO and founder of the Amber Group. Welcome. So glad to have you.
Good afternoon, Vaughn. Thank you for inviting me.
All right. Wonderful. Now, based on your bio, it says from India to Jamaica. Now, before I even get to Mount Everest and all of that, I want to get first understand how Jamaica landed on your radar, and how did you end up here? What was the familiarity? Is there anything particular reason that, Jamaica has a long-standing history of attracting persons from India to Jamaica, so there's nothing new there. But every story is different. Every story is, distinct in its own way. So what was your story, and how did you fall in love with Jamaica?
My story is actually pretty unique. People migrate to different countries mainly for economic reasons. They want to go make some more money. They want to set up their own businesses in foreign countries, etc., etc. But I didn't come for any of these purposes. I actually came to Jamaica as a humanitarian.
Okay.
I work for the Art of Living Foundation, which is one of the world's largest non-profit organization, biggest charitable organization in the world. And in 2012, I was asked by the founder of the Art of Living to come to the Caribbean, and I traveled Curacao, Aruba, St. Martin, Barbados, and I came to Jamaica in 2012, and I taught between 2012 to 2015 when I was going up and down and keeping my base in Jamaica, but I used to go around all the Caribbean countries to teach the Art of Living workshop, which is stress management workshops. So I taught nearly 3,000 inmates in the prisons in Jamaica, rehabilitated them for a year. I did a lot of work in the inner cities and ghettos and gangs and teaching them breathing exercises, meditation, and choose a path of nonviolence to get to the same end result what they're using violence to get to. Around January 2nd, 2015, I ran out of funding fully as my responsibility to run the foundation here. Whatever sources of income we had, that became smaller and smaller. And over time, my spend was a lot more for the country in terms of the charitable work we were doing. And that's when I decided, charity cannot happen from an empty bowl. You need cash, you need money, you need wealth.
From an empty cup at all.
Correct. And that's the reason I started the Amber Group in Jamaica in 2015, solely for one, that we build a business which is designed to serve humanity, which gives away all of its profits to serve humanity. And when I say serve humanity, it's Jamaica. And why I made Jamaica my home, I had a choice of other 6 countries where I was doing a lot of work in that sense. I think when I came to Jamaica in 2012, I was not in a very good place personally. I had just divorced and I was not in a very good place in my soul.
Right.
And when I came to Jamaica, the opportunity I had here to work with all of these people and all of these members of the society, it actually uplifted me. The water, the land, the people. I think I just realized I don't think I've ever considered anywhere else home, but this is home for me since then. And I have devoted my life to Jamaica. I do everything I can do to help our Jamaican people with the wealth we create and the businesses we run. And I still continue to teach the Art of Living courses.
Okay, that's interesting. So fascinating to me. So you came with the intention of doing more humanitarian outreach work, that kind of thing. And naturally, as you said, it takes cash to care. So you had to start finding a way to. But then how were you able to? Because it's one thing to have an idea and say, okay, I think I can just start, put up a little shingle and then we're going to get some money and, we're going to use that to continue our outreach work. But it's different because Amber Group is really quite successful. It's doing very well and in many ways, and it has several lines. But so how were you able to leverage that I guess that your IT, knowledge, I would imagine that's what your background is, IT and so on. How were you able to successfully leverage that into a successful company like the Amber Group?
I think I've always believed in my soul that when your intention is pure and you want to do good for others, the universe finds a way to help you. Most of the time we start a business for self-serving purposes. And when you're starting a business for self-serving purposes, also your ability to grow that fast also is hindered because whenever you give, we have the saying for centuries now, what you give comes around threefold. So from the start, our intention to start the Amber Group was to do good for the society, to serve the charitable purposes we all believe in. But it's been a hard road. I can tell you it's not been easy to start a business. And of course, as of today, we have 12 businesses in the group. We operate in 100 countries all over the world. We have thousands and thousands of employees and connected contractors all over the world. We're a massive business now, perhaps the largest exporter of technology out of Jamaica to the whole world. But it's not been easy at all. It's been tough, rough. I have had the worst of the worst problems that you can think of as an entrepreneur, but I never gave up. That's the secret. You just don't give up. No matter how many times you're criticized, how many times you're thrown under the bus, how many times you're humiliated, how many times you're chastised, it does not matter. What are you here for? If you're here to build a business, to make a difference to your society, you're here to build a business that you want to serve the society with better tech, with better options for them to utilize your services than what the competitors are doing, just keep going. That's what it takes to build businesses.
All right, that is true. I mean, you have to have, as we say in Jamaica, a broad back. You know what I mean? You have to just be willing to let everything come and take it on first. And just quickly show some love to persons online. Remember, this is your show, people. If you have any questions for Mr. Savadia, this is why we have him here. You want to be able to talk to him, rap with him, ask questions, and so on, and get answers to the questions. We're here to try and bridge that gap because often persons feel like a person like you would be so inaccessible, and whether you couldn't see them or talk to them and that kind of thing. And so we have the opportunity. Let's see if we can pick his brain. Is there something about tech, something about entrepreneurship, something about any of his ventures that he may be familiar with? If you want to talk about meditation and yoga, which is the real substance that brought him here in the first place, then drop a question in the comment. That's why we're here. We will ask it and we'll get back to you. All right? All right. Let me just, I guess, let's take the opportunity to just establish, because you mentioned Amber Group has so many different things. Can you just give us an idea of what it is that you guys do?
Yeah, sure. I started with Amber Connect, which is vehicle tracking and fleet management. And that is the product which actually made us so big all over the world, because we really, really looked at the whole industry. We looked at the gaps which the competitors had. And we built a very unique platform that gives real-time access to the customers, to their vehicles. We built a lot of AI now to prevent theft. So the vehicle actually defends itself when it is under threat of theft. So we pushed so much of AI, and that's what made us very global. So that was my first business. And when people back in 2016 saw the product and they loved the product, beautiful apps and so many functionalities that help you keep your car safe and your loved ones safe, we built the fleet management system. So all the big fleets started utilizing it, thinking, hey, now I can save fuel. Now I can save on maintenance. Now I can save on the resale value of the vehicles because the drivers are not abusing it. So when we built all of these phenomenal technologies, a lot of companies came to us, hey, you build great software for yourself. Can you build for us too? That gave birth to the second company. I never intended to have 12 businesses ever. It's almost like a snowball. I couldn't stop. So the second business was Amber Innovations, which now have more than 1,000 software developers in-house between Jamaica, South Africa, and India, and Dubai.
You just said that so casually. In South Africa, India, and Dubai. They're so casually with it,
It's
right?
taken 8 years of grinding work to get here. But what happened is when we built Amber Innovations, I came up with an idea for fuel stations. So we built a petroleum software first, and then when we built that petroleum software, it's used by some very large fuel companies across the world. We needed a payments gateway, so that gave birth to Amber Pay. And now Amber Pay is one of the largest payment gateway in Jamaica. So if any businessman or any business, small business, large business, anyone who wants to have a payment platform to collect money from their customers online, we became the actual face of payment for Jamaica. And we're behind most of the big companies in Jamaica who are using our gateway to collect money seamlessly from their customers. Then we built the payment gateway. Then we realized, okay, all of these products also needs a rewards platform. Then we went into building Amber Rewards. Then, of course, cybersecurity has become a huge issue globally. So we bought a cybersecurity company in US a couple of years ago, and that allowed us to strengthen our ability to give support to our customers, to help them to maintain their security standards of their business softwares. From there, we moved to IoT. We're manufacturing vehicle tracking devices. So I bought a company in South Africa also a year ago, which develops, and manufacture hardware for us, and not just for vehicle tracking, but many other solutions. Then we went into aviation. I'm a pilot also.
Okay, all right.
So I wanted to kind of bring that wonderful spirit of flying into Jamaica. I went to South Africa once, to Ballito, which is in Western Cape, and near Johannesburg. In Durban. A place called Ballito. It attracts so many tourists to fly on an open cockpit microlight, which is just wings. Two seats, front and back, and there's an engine behind. So when you fly up 1,000 feet, 1,500, it's just fresh wind on your face, and it's just you're flying like a bird in the sky, and very safe aircrafts. Because these are gliders, even if the engine conks out, you simply glide and land, and that's it. It's safely landed. When the fatality rate is almost zero. Some very, very good experience I had, and I thought, we've got some very amazing beaches. We've got some amazing sightseeing view from the top of the skies. So we are now launching Amber Aviation in Jamaica. It is starting in Negril by June. We got all our Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority approvals. We're just waiting on the hangars now. Once we've bought 5 aircrafts already. So aviation became my next passion. I'm also in next phase wanting to launch a domestic airline.
There was talk about that.
We want to bring people to fly in the air. Of course, now if you want to go from Kingston to Mobe at 3 o'clock, you're done. I mean, by the time you cross the traffic out of Kingston itself, it'll take 2 hours. So how do I commute people within 32 minutes from Kingston to Mobe without paying a large bill? How can we bring, let's say, people flying at 8,000 Jamaican, 9,000 Jamaican in 32 minutes all the way into Mobe or Negril? So that's the third phase. And then, of course, we're into jet share as well. So people can rent jets and stuff. So that became another business. And then we went into many more. I mean, it's just one after another.
It seems like you're just collecting businesses like, I don't know, snacks or something like that. It just seems like that's your whole thing. You say, there's a business here. And before you know it, you start a new business and you create a new opportunity. It's like that's safe to say that's where your mind works, right?
Correct. It's identifying the pain points in the society and filling them up, making affordable, making it technologically advanced, and bring that customer experience that people are missing with their existing service provider. And that's all we're looking for. What are the pain points of the society? And we go fill those plugs. Society gets something better for their own life cycles, and we also have converted into a business, and then we make the profits and go spend it on
reinvest it in something else
on charitable projects.
Speaking of which, all right, which I have a question here online. Before I go into it, I do want to talk about the charitable energy that Amber has been, because I'd like to think, well, perhaps for those who may not know, Amber has partnered with the government through HEART and so on to create a coding academy to expose a lot of children across Jamaica, not just children really, but a lot of persons across Jamaica to coding, to bring them into the IT space, because which we all know, IT is the next frontier, in the sense that this is the skill set that's going to launch, take development into the stratosphere. And so being able to code, being able to leverage IT expertise is one of the best ways you can improve your life, change your destiny, etc., etc., etc. And so through the Amber Coding universe, but you know what? Why am I saying this? You're here. You talk about this.
So the Amber Heart Academy was my brainchild back in 2021, I think. I met the Prime Minister, Most Honorable Andrew Holness, and I explained to him that, look, if you look at the next 5-8 years, where are jobs going? Because of the rise of the chatbots, because of the rise of AI, our BPO sector might get impacted with that.
Right.
And it is happening all over the world. So how do we start training our people to the next generation of demand growth that is going to come? And IT, of course, is every single thing since the pandemic, everything is now converting itself into some sort of a digitalized system. Everybody's focused on building more software, building more solutions in their businesses to reach customers faster. So that gave birth to, and in fact, in my experience before, not really my experience, but what I'd heard before is that it takes a long time to do anything with the government. The bureaucracy is so tough. By the time you make an application and you convince them to do it, and by the time they actually move the logistics, years have gone. It didn't happen in this case. The PPPM on the first meeting itself, when I presented to him the whole option that we will fund it. We will fund the entire training. We've got the skill set to fund it. We've got the funding to fund it. All we need is heart to actually give us
students and a space out there.
Accommodation space for the students so I can bring them on campus. So in 3 months' time, this was launched from the day I spoke to the PPM for the first time.
Believe me, people, when I tell you that is amazing. That is an accomplishment in itself. Continue.
Correct. Absolutely. You're right. Because, like I said, we think government takes a long time. But I think it also boils down to what is it that you're bringing to the government as an entrepreneur that has a direct, fast effect on the society. And when there are good projects, I've seen in my experience, they work faster. So in 3-4 months' time, we just launched the whole Amber Heart Academy. And we first took in 50 students, then another 50. The first 2 batch were pilots. From the 100 that we took, about 65 of them graduated. And then the next cohort was another 100, and now we are close to 500 students studying at the Amber Heart Academy. And of course, later on, we partnered with Universal Service Funds. They also opened up the rest of Jamaica for students to participate from other parishes too.
Right.
So now in total, we have about 500 students studying under the Amber Heart Academy. We are funding the course fee, etc., all the tutors, the curriculum, everything is managed by Heart and us and USF. But it's such an accomplishment. We just graduated 80 graduates only 2 weeks ago. 88 graduates graduated after the Amber Heart Academy. Graduation happened at Stony Hill. And I was listening. I couldn't go. I just came back to Jamaica and I was sick. I just couldn't make it to that event. And I regretted still not meeting those students at the graduation. But I heard the entire live stream. And I tell you the gratitude these kids had, because these kids didn't come from
tone or but good, great, situations.
Exactly.
And so on,
They had good situations and they are loaded with cash with their parents. No, these are guys who came from inner cities and all of that, and then they just found and qualified themselves to come to the Amber Heart Academy. And then they were subjected to screening. They were subjected to a psychometric test. We wanted to understand they can logically answer questions or not. And then we trained them for a year and turned them into proper software developers. And now they're all going to go out into the world and make a difference.
All right. I have to ask, because as an entrepreneur, you can appreciate that there are challenges that comes. I'm going to read you this comment. I'm going to let you respond to it. Okay. Good day, Mr. Savadia. This is from Jason Williams. Jason, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for your question. All right. Jason says, good day, Mr. Savadia. I'm happy that you adopted Jamaica as your home. What you did on Mount Everest was a testament to your love for Jamaica. Question: what can you tell us about claims of mistreatment by Amber interns while they were working for your company? I came across this petition, so I'll link that. So I would imagine there may not everything is sweet, but let you respond before I jump in.
I think, look, I don't want to comment more than I should, but I can tell you one thing, that we funded 1 year of training to these interns who were later interning with us. 1 year of training was funded by us. They got free accommodation, free food, free education for a year, turned them into developers, or rather prepared them to become developers. And a year later, we as a business, we're not very big. We're not 50 years old and 100 years old. We're still a startup. We're moving fast, and of course, the pace we are moving and growing. We don't have any external investors. The Amber Group is owned 100% by me. So whatever money we make is all we have to use for our growth and to fund our charitable passion too. So a year and a half ago, we brought in 60 interns at a time.
That's fantastic.
It's a lot. You go around and ask any company in Jamaica, how many interns have you hired in one shot?
I don't think it's a lot.
About 10, 15 maximum.
That kind
we
of thing.
took 60 interns who graduated out of Amber Heart Academy because I thought, we've never done internship programs before. Never. And I have never, there's no proper internship programs in Jamaica either. So I said, maybe let me try it if it works with us. And let me try to bring all these kids out of school straight into a job. And we paid them 100,000 Jamaican dollars net after taxes.
Wow, okay.
Interns don't make this kind of money in Jamaica. But we wanted to give them respect. We wanted to give them a starting point for their life. And of course, as you know, every internship is for a year or 6 months. And of course, as time passes, you have to be cognizant of the fact that the market is also changing. There is a lot of inflation.
Indeed.
A lot of companies all over the world have downsized their cost of operations because there is a foreseeable shortage of projects, foreseeable shortage of cash that we can see that it might affect. So companies go into cash reserve mode. So we gave them internship. We could, whatever we could do. I'm not saying we were the best internship location because we've never done internship before. But we brought them in, paid them a seriously good amount of money every single month. They were all paid for. And then, of course, when their internship contract came to an end, or at some point we decided, okay, this person is, we had some issues with some persons, we had to let them go because they were actually creating issues, which is fine. It's all part of the
natural. That's part of the business ecosystem.
But most of the interns, most of them completed their 1-year internship. And we did not renew their contract to make them into a full-time permanent job, and that has caused
some hard feelings.
And I apologize as a business. I wish I could have retained all of them. We did retain about 20 interns who were turned into full-time employment. Many were also hired by other companies who hired from us these interns to do work for them. Those companies also let go of the interns hired through us. Now, I can't bear it costed me nearly 90 million Jamaican dollars last year just to keep interns, to train them and give them a footing so that they can go out into the real world and find a job. So now if your internship is over, you go find a good job and move on and be, for me.
Stages, what I mean? These are stages. You graduate and now you move on to a different stage.
And look, if I've been 10 months out of the year, I've been abroad 10 months out of the year because I'm trying to grow the Amber Group business in 100 countries now. And if I sit in Jamaica, that won't happen. I need to move. I need to take Jamaica to the whole world. And to do that, it's taxing on me. It's not easy. I fall sick very often because I'm moving so fast. I took 150 flights last year.
Oh my God.
Just to grow our Jamaican business into the whole world. So the world can now recognize Jamaica is trading from Jamaica into the whole world. Because we're only known for people coming in. We're not exporting much.
Indeed.
We became the largest exporter of software globally now, out of the Caribbean, out of Jamaica. It's 100% Jamaican company. So, and I saw those comments too. I do sympathize with them. I have absolute sympathy for them. I've got apathy for them. But look, end of the day, let's get real. I run a business too. As much as we are a charitable business, I took 80 million Jamaican dollars cost on my shoulders to bring them into internship and give them at least 1 year of good experience so their CVs get better.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the internship is over, you go out and find a job.
And that's life.
That's simple.
That's life. That is indeed the state. That's the game of life. And in truth, this is the nature of, I mean, when and that serves to make light of a person's personal experience, but this is indeed how things tend to go. It's nothing strange. It's nothing new. It's nothing. This is the world of life, our business at this level. This is just how it works.
Look,
things happen. There will be setbacks. There will be things, but how you move on and pivot and manage from these situations is what determines your success going forward.
And we know as a fact, Vaughn, also that even permanent jobs are not permanent.
Indeed.
You can't expect a guaranteed job for the next 40 years. It's not going to happen.
No.
Businesses move and pivot and reshuffle and change. How many big companies, big corporates in Jamaica in the last 6 months have slashed their costs and lost a lot of staff from their business? You can count the names.
Too many to count.
Too many
to count.
So if all these big companies are able to cut employees because they're trying to protect the overall business, nothing wrong in that.
Mm-hmm.
As the business has to continuously look the profitability, look at the cost, and keep adjusting staff, because salary is normally the largest cost of any business. So if the business is under pressure, the first thing you will do is reduce the number of staff you have.
Absolutely.
And I'm not the only company who've done that. There are so many companies in Jamaica now who have slashed how many people work for them. And again, it's just a proactive approach. And as soon as things become a little better, the visibility is there. Again, there's a big boost of hiring once again. But we didn't fire 60 or 30 full-time employees. Mm-hmm. Even if I did that as a business, that would be a business decision. Indeed. But we did not renew the contracts of interns. There's a very big difference. You're an intern. You must realize internship is not a guaranteed permanent job for the rest of your life, that you'll grow old with me when I'm 80, you're also 60. It doesn't work like that.
I know, and I thank you for your honesty and candor in answering the question. Many person would give me the PR spiel about, Vaughn, blah, blah, blah. It's good that you, because I believe in transparency. I was the reason why I asked questions in the first place. It's very important.
I do want to end with saying I do apologize that I'm sorry my business could not carry this weight anymore of funding interns in the job. And the connected companies also who had hired interns through us, they also dropped all of them, most of them. And that also put pressure on me now. How do I carry the weight of all those who the third party companies had promised to take? So it's a mix of a lot of things. There is no what do you call it? There was no malintention behind.
Exactly, yeah. No ill intention.
It's just a business.
It's the nature of the business. It's the nature of business.
And you have to understand the 80 million Jamaican dollars we spent on interns last year, we didn't have to. I could have bought a little apartment for myself.
Or something.
I could have bought a new car No, we're spending the money the right way, trying to help as many as we could help. And you need to see that our intention were right. Our deed was right. You were fully paid. 100,000 Jamaican dollars a month is not a small amount of money to pay 60 people every month for a year. And of course, while we are training them on the job, and I said to you before that we also lacked the skills to train the interns in the job as well as we could have. We also learned our lessons. We are also going to fix the mistakes the next time. But doing a petition and all of these things, I've read the petition too.
Yeah, I mean, these are, what persons have hurt feelings.
I can understand your frustration, guys. And you had a nice, cushy job for a year and good pay, and suddenly you don't have it. It does have a psychological impact. Indeed. Because of which the reactions like these come. But I do apologize. The business, I carried 2 years of cost for you as an individual. I'm sure you can forgive me for carrying 2 years of your costs and then put you out in a way that your CV is strong. You worked for Amber Group. You have achieved a 1-year certified course. I think we've done a lot that has to be recognized.
All right, let's pivot. I want to talk about Mount Everest and how that why? The question is why? Why you reach up? As any Jamaican, that's the first question. Why you reach up there, Mr. Savadia? What you doing up there? This is Jamaican people. We're good right here from the flat. Why you going up there so far?
Very good question. I think I think one thing I've been drinking Jamaican water for 12 years. I think my blood is running Jamaican water now. So one thing I've realized about Jamaica, we've got a lot of dare.
That is true.
We have a spirit of dare. Man, we can go do things that people think twice to do it. And I think I've been in Jamaica so long. This is my home and always will be. I even told my next of kins that should I die, please cremate me in Jamaica. This is where I want to take off from, wherever I need to go next. So to me, why Mount Everest? I think it's not that people haven't climbed before. There are other Jamaicans who've also gone.
That's true.
I know in 1991, somebody actually reached the peak, which is a phenomenal achievement. But all those stories are lost. So I think what my going did.
For this generation, this is your tribute, your testament.
Correct. So for me, it was more like, can I become an inspiration? Can I become a hope that everything is possible from Jamaica? So when I went up Jamaica, it was not an easy ride. I was climbing for 8-9 days. I vomited one night. It was because there is less oxygen. The higher you go up, the oxygen saturation fell to almost about 80%, 60%. At one point, my oxygen was only 61% in my body. But in that lack of air, lack of breathing, and then you're tired, and then you have to climb 10 kilometers, 8 kilometers every day, and you're climbing 2,000 feet a day. It is harsh. And the worst, I chose the time, was peak winter. At some point, it was minus 40 degrees.
Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, that's not for me, but hey, kudos to you.
No, I just wanted to do it as to send a message to our youths in Jamaica. We can do anything.
All right, that isn't true. And I mean, inscribing Jamaica, as you wrote Amber, Jamaica, and something else I don't remember. But I mean, and so that moment, talk me through that moment and having gotten there and just writing it in and just leaving that inscription for other persons to know that yes, Jamaicans are up here too. Nobody no better than we are just as good as everybody else to be able to accomplish something like this. What was that moment like?
No, I think for me, the first thing I wrote was Jamaica, because that is our first identity, that we are Jamaicans. And the second identity of mine is my business. And the third identity after my business is my own identity as Dushyant Savadia. So when I was writing, the first thing came to my mind was to write Jamaica. One, because see, when I looked at the rock, there were so many countries' names written there, so many flags there, and I said, I can't see a single Jamaican sentence or a single word of Jamaica anywhere on the rock, anywhere. And there's a whole place which is dedicated for you to write your success moment, inscribe what you... And we don't carve the stones, by the way. We do not vandalize the stones. Yes,
because I'm sure there are persons who are like environmental concerns, etc.
Yes, and I saw one comment on Facebook that I also had gone to the Mount Everest, but I did not vandalize. My friend, we don't vandalize. We're all nature-loving people. I was smart enough to carry a permanent marker.
Okay.
And that's what you do. You have to think through. And I think in Jamaica, sometimes no matter what good you do and however positive a story you put out, there are people who have a different opinion.
That's just the world. That's life.
Yeah, and they just don't spare anybody to badmouth as much as they can. But it's their level of understanding of the situation, and we have to also embrace them, because if they could be better, they would have been better. So
it is what it is. This comes with the territory.
Yeah. So to me, it was all about writing Jamaica's name and letting the world know from there that Jamaica can be anywhere. I've taken Jamaica to 100 countries in my business. I've taken Jamaica to 18,500 feet and a lot more to come. I finished my deep sea diving course recently. I also got a PADI license now. And I'm now thinking, how deep can I take Jamaica to? We've gone up. Let's
all right. It sounds like you seem like you're National Geographic or one of those. Like that should be your next venture, right? Before you know it, I'm adventuring and something like that. Which brings me to the next question. It says, Natalia Francis is asking, are there any new initiatives Amber Group is launching in 2024? Because based on your rate at which you create and launch new businesses, what's on the horizon for Amber?
Okay. So I'm going to give you a sneak preview of something that is coming and launching on March 6th. Those who are hearing this, listening, watching, pretend that you didn't hear and you didn't listen. This is a secret, top secret.
Only just all of the internet. But
That's
never mind,
it.
that's fine.
No, we're launching a new initiative. I won't give much away right now, called Amber Launchpad. We aim to fund 100 startups in 1,000 days. So we will open the invite. Just keep your ears out. It is coming very shortly. As an entrepreneur, Vaughn, I've gone through a lot of problems.
Yeah.
To find money to build my product. After I found the money to build my product, I ran out of money halfway building the product, begging again and begging again and begging. I've got a brilliant idea, but how can I take my brilliant idea to the market? How can I monetize my brilliant idea to the market, which will benefit the society and make my life better? And then when I started Amber Group's journey back in 2015, I ran out of funding. Many times. At one point, I remember I had 11 staff, engineering staff only. I couldn't pay them the money because the product wasn't complete. I couldn't go sell. And I had to request my staff, okay, guys, you go find another jobs. And when time comes, I will bring you back and I need to find some more funds. Fortunately for me, none of the 11 left said, Dushyant, we know where your heart is. I know you want to do good for the society. We're not going, we will finish the job. And they completed the product without taking any salary for a month and a half. But then I realized as an entrepreneur now, when I look back into my own life, you continuously beg for money. Then if you get an investor, then you start getting investor pressure even before the product is built.
That's true.
They need fast returns. They put too much governance on you sometimes that can stifle the business because everybody is their own mind. They have their own experience with their own experience. And perhaps many of these investors have lost a lot of money with a certain trend these entrepreneurs take. So they try to put enough controls in this. And then what happens? By the time you've actually built a product, 60-70% of your equity is already sold. And then you lose interest. Okay, then finally, let's say you got all the money and built the product. Then what? Who's going to market it? Exactly. Nobody trusts you.
You're brand new. Man, nobody's heard of you
When
before.
I started Amber Connect, I used to stand on the road and give pamphlets for people to take it that I've built a vehicle tracking system. It is by far the best in the world. Please have a look. I used to hand deliver boxes myself to technicians to install. I used to install myself at some point. But this whole journey have made me realize one thing. How about we create a new startup capital fund for Jamaica, which is not coming from the capitalist side of things, but coming from a philanthropic side of things. We built, I think, Jamaica's first philanthropic capital venture initiative, whereby we are saying that you will never have to look for funds to build your product. We will do end-to-end 100% funding once. We will open the application in first week of March. You apply, you give your idea, you load a short video, and you will be selected out of how many ever we get. We're going to take the first batch. Season 1 is 10 startups first, and then every 3-4 months we'll take 10 more. But in 3 years, I want to launch 100 startups in Jamaica, digital startups.
That's amazing.
Fully funded, by the way, from the group.
That's amazing. And I mean, hey, if your business plan is on the shelf somewhere, I think now it's a good time to take it off, dust it off, make it up, and just tweak it up and all the things. So make sure when the time comes, and you know what they say, success is what happens when opportunity meets preparation. Opportunities are about to drop.
I just want to say something. In Jamaica, we call it side hustle. How about giving this side hustle a mainstream recognition?
Yeah, absolutely.